Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Just a beautiful afternoon for football, Coach. They say summer is the time to live in Chicago. Well, that's extended into autumn as we are ready to roll under blue skies at Soldier Field. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
Ready? 8, read.
Let's go, let's go. Hey, switch gears, switch gears.
Speed grip.
There's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
15, ready. Now.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. Now back to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback.
Set. 180.
Now a first down throw. Stafford. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on 2nd and a couple. Now Taylor. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line.
Here we go, here we go.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 13 carries, 75 yards.
Well, this is where it becomes a challenge for the offensive coordinator. He's got a bell cow at tailback right now, number 3 in the league in rushing, within shouting distance of the lead. But at the same time, if the passing game is open, he's got to take advantage of that too.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. Devontae Adams, the intended receiver, and it's 2nd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. Out of the gun, Stafford. He'll find Metcalf. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
And he brings this up to the 46, good enough for the first. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th.
First down, Packers.
The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down.
Drill right, 22. Move.
Here's Stafford. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Stafford, this one into the hands of Metcalf. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
On 2nd down now, it's Taylor, and he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. It's a 10-yard gain there to set him up 1st and goal.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long...
And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. DK Metcalf, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys are a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
And now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Well, they'll get 15, but that won't be nearly enough. It's 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. And, you know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether it's in different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
On first down, Taylor. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here.
Hey, go here!
Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. To throw is Stafford. That's complete to the former Aggie, Jay Sternberger. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 9 yards the pickup there, and it's a first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, Tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. O'Shane Ximines. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
A nice pickup there, 19 yards. And they're set up better for third. 3rd and 2, Stafford. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
It's got to the point where we see guys like that make that type of a catch. Not fair goes through my brain. That size, that speed, and now they're acting like wide receivers too.
Yeah, tight end one-handed catches. They're kind of like wide receiver one-handed catches nowadays.
Just not right.
A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. On their own side of the field, close to the 50, but their own side of the field. They only needed a couple of inches, and they were able to get it done.
And it doesn't matter whether you're a zone blocking team, a man blocking team, gap blocking, whatever you want to call it. When it's in this situation, it's really man on man, isn't it? Who's going to...
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Devontae Adams. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. That's an old-fashioned death march there, partner. Took them a lot of plays, but hey, they did the job.
And the defense always preaches getting off the field, making a play, and turning it back over to their own offense. Unable to do so. A long, sustained drive by the offense.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And into the end zone, it's a pick 6 and a Packer touchdown.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick 6. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Nick Mullins in the offense set to take over. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people. Lean on your teammates. Find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
If he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. On play action, they'll throw. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards is the pickup there, and a first down for Chicago. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. A loss of 2 there, second down. They're never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Out of the gun now on third down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
And just a net of 31 here. 40-yard punt, 9 on the return. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. 17 yards on the play there as the Packers have the first down as well. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. To throw again. Stafford. And he whips that one incomplete there.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here, because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock, because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. Nick Mullins in the offense sent to take over. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away, because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now a man open down the middle of the field, and he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. On 3rd down, a run with Cohen. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. He'll take it at the 42. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That'll go as a 42-yard punt, but a net of 32. They had a 10-yard return. And the Packers will have a short field to work with here as they take over 1st and 10.
Lady! What we got? What we got? What we got? Hey, Red! 58, right over there. Yeah.
On 1st down, it's Stafford. Over the middle, that's caught by Metcalf. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. On 1st and 10, Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Clearly wasn't outside of the tackle box. There's your penalty.
And accompanying that penalty, a loss of down.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. From the gun, here's Stafford. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I think it's pretty safe to say that when you're up 3 touchdowns, the last thing you want to do is hang one up there and put it in jeopardy and possibly get it intercepted. Get a nice lead, you should be able to protect it. But if you get careless with the football, look out.
3rd and long, it's Stafford. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Still a little bit of time left here in the 2nd quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that. And we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Looking to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And we're going to get a timeout. With 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3. They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to float this over the middle deep. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll get started down at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. And it's the Dolphins who are out in front in the 2nd quarter. Josh Rosen, a touchdown pass in that 1st half. Next, we head north to Philly. Check on the Eagles at home at Lincoln Financial Field. And they trail in that ball game to the visiting Seattle Seahawks. Tyler Lockett, a touchdown reception.
All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the 3rd quarter.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They built a good 1st half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the 2nd half. Nice 1st half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the 2nd half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now it's Stafford off the bootleg. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Taylor. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. They run with Taylor. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. From just shy of midfield, Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on third down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Here's Stafford. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. 8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on third down. A shotgun snap for Stafford. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A gain of 22. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Stafford. And he comes back with one complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 11 yards and a Green Bay Packer first down.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work, and that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a first down.
Stafford now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's first and he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. Devin Bush coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this second half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half trying to slow them down, but now they had a plan, made that adjustment that we always talk about, and it worked very well on that play.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Down he goes at the 10 with a solid pickup of 8. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Hey, 54. Five.
To throw on third down. Stafford, touchdown, Packers. DK Metcalf. His second touchdown of the afternoon as his guys continue to pour it on.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On first down, they go right back to Cohen. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd down, it's Cohen, and that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. The give to Taylor. And an alley to run. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 13 yards, 1st down, Packers.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down.
Let him know, let him know.
Now Stafford. Got his man there, complete to Gallup. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Back now at Soldier Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Give him 6 yards in the 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Pretty solid run here on 1st down. Almost picked up another first, but he appears to be a few inches short. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Off of play action. Here's Stafford. Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
The Packers on 3rd down. 5 out of 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Now Stafford. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the 1st down. A short gain there of just 4, and that'll bring up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. Do you like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
A good pickup there, 21 yards. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Check pass.
2nd and 10. And his throw is incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 44-yard line. Mullins now. 5 straight completions here in this 2nd half. 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Kevin King with a pick. Past the 20, and they will score. It's a Packer touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, and they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Second and 3. This one into the hands of Burton. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A gain there of 12 yards and a 1st down for the Bears. Mullins now, 10 of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a 1st and 10. Well, here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 8. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And Robinson with a big catch. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 33. Back to throw here. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. They'll look to throw. He finds Robinson. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Out of bounds and close. The question, was it a touchback? No. They'll say it crossed out at the 2-yard line. Excellent placement, and off that bounce, Charles, I didn't know where it was going to go. It can be an inexact science as to where they place it, but they say the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know how they really determined that. And let's face it, at the end of that play, one side's going to be happy, the other team's going to be unhappy. So, what do they do, shorten the hypotenuse? I mean, how do they figure that out? You know that stuff. You're the smart guy.
Oh, that's you, partner. Here's Taylor, and he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Set. 180. Mike 58 right there. Watch the curl. Watch the curl.
They'll run with Taylor. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Throwing here, Stafford. And that's complete to Adams. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Stafford. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Again, he was looking for Devontae Adams, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Stafford looking deep for Adams, and that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here. Again, he was looking for Devontae Adams, and it's 3rd down. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Stafford looks to throw again. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. Room here to run. On play action, they'll throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. So it's all over. A Green Bay victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine